The Battle of the Masts, also known as the Battle of Phoenix or the Battle of the Gulf of Corinth, took place in 655 CE between the Muslim forces led by Abdallah ibn Sa'd and the Byzantine Empire. This naval battle was a significant engagement during the early years of the Arab-Byzantine Wars. The Arab-Byzantine Wars were a series of conflicts between the Byzantine Empire and the expanding Islamic Caliphate in the 7th century. The Battle of the Masts occurred during the reign of the Umayyad Caliphate, which succeeded the Rashidun Caliphate after the death of Caliph Ali. The battle took place in the Gulf of Corinth, which is located in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea. The Muslim fleet, commanded by Abdallah ibn Sa'd, consisted of both Arab and Muslim converted Berber forces. The Byzantine fleet, under the command of Emperor Constans II, was a formidable naval force. The battle ended inconclusively, with no clear victory for either side. Both sides suffered heavy casualties, and neither was able to gain a decisive advantage. Despite the lack of a clear winner, the battle had significant consequences. It weakened the Byzantine naval power in the eastern Mediterranean and allowed the Islamic Caliphate to expand its influence in the region. The strategic importance of the Gulf of Corinth as a trade route was disrupted due to the battle, impacting Byzantine commerce. The Arab-Byzantine Wars continued for several more decades, with various battles and conflicts occurring between the two powers. The Battle of the Masts is considered a part of the early Islamic expansion and conquests, which eventually led to the establishment of Islamic rule in many parts of the eastern Mediterranean and beyond. It's worth noting that the Arab-Byzantine Wars were a complex series of conflicts with multiple battles and campaigns, and the Battle of the Masts was just one of the significant engagements in this larger historical context. The Arab-Byzantine Wars were primarily driven by a combination of religious, political, and territorial factors. The rise of Islam in the 7th century under the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad and the early caliphs led to the expansion of the Islamic Caliphate. The Byzantine Empire, which was the eastern half of the Roman Empire and had its capital in Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, viewed this expansion as a threat to its territory and interests. The Gulf of Corinth, where the Battle of the Masts took place, was strategically important because it connected the Ionian Sea with the Aegean Sea. Controlling this route was vital for both sides, as it facilitated trade, communication, and military movement between the eastern and western parts of the Byzantine Empire. The battle showcased the evolving naval capabilities of both the Byzantine and Muslim forces. The Byzantines had long been known for their naval prowess, but the Muslims were rapidly developing their naval fleet to compete in the Mediterranean. Impact on trade. The disruption of trade routes as a result of the battle had economic consequences for both the Byzantine Empire and the Muslim Caliphate. This disruption contributed to the broader economic instability and challenges faced by the Byzantine Empire during this period. Following the Battle of the Masts, the Arab-Byzantine Wars continued for several decades, with numerous battles and campaigns on both land and sea. These conflicts played a significant role in shaping the political and territorial boundaries of the eastern Mediterranean. The Battle of the Masts is just one chapter in the larger story of the Arab-Byzantine Wars and the early Islamic expansion. The ongoing interactions and conflicts between the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic Caliphate had profound and lasting effects on the history of the Middle East, the Mediterranean region, and beyond. Overall, The Battle of the Masts was a pivotal moment in the early Islamic expansion and in the history of Byzantine-Islamic relations. It exemplified the fierce competition for control of strategic regions during a period of significant historical change. Political context: the Battle of the Masts occurred during the reign of the Umayyad Caliphate, the second caliphate in Islam, which succeeded the Rashidun Caliphate. The Umayyad Caliphate, under the leadership of Caliph Muawiyah I, sought to expand its territorial influence and consolidate its rule. Caliphate expansion. The victory at the Battle of the Masts would have given the Umayyad Caliphate greater control over the eastern Mediterranean. The victory at the Battle of the Masts would have given the Umayyad Caliphate greater control over the eastern Mediterranean, enabling them to project their power further westward and northward into Byzantine territory. However, the inconclusive outcome meant that the status quo remained, and the Byzantine Empire still held significant territories. The Battle of the Masts demonstrated the importance of naval tactics in this period. Both sides employed various strategies, including the use of Greek fire, a highly effective incendiary weapon, by the Byzantines. The development of naval technologies and tactics played a crucial role in shaping the outcomes of these battles. The Battle of the Masts is not as well known as some other battles in Islamic history, such as the Battle of Yarmouk or the Siege of Constantinople, but it contributed to the gradual expansion of Islamic influence and control over the Mediterranean region. It was part of the larger process by which Islam spread from its Arabian origins to become a major world religion. Byzantine decline: the ongoing conflict with the Islamic Caliphate, including battles like the Battle of the Masts, placed a considerable strain on the Byzantine Empire. It further weakened the Byzantine state, which was already grappling with internal strife, economic difficulties, and external threats. While these wars brought destruction and disruption, they also facilitated cultural exchange between the Byzantine and Islamic worlds. Trade routes and interactions between different cultures contributed to the transfer of knowledge, technology, and ideas. The Battle of the Masts was a significant naval engagement that took place during the early years of the Arab-Byzantine Wars. While it ended inconclusively, it had far-reaching implications for the Byzantine Empire, the Islamic Caliphate, and the broader Mediterranean region. The battle's impact on trade, politics, and military tactics underscores its importance in the history of the early Islamic expansion and Byzantine-Islamic interactions.